I take back almost everything that I said. Today we're talking about Mitsubishi Motors and how I think I'm wrong. What's up everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Rant. My name is Nick Lanza, and if you're new around here, we do builds, reviews, and have candid conversations about cars, much like this one. So today, let's dive right in. If you're new to the channel, I am an avid Mitsubishi Motors fan. I've owned several of them, as is right now. I own 3 of them in the form of a Pajero, a Mighty Max, and a new vehicle I'm going to introduce to you here in a minute. But I've also owned an Eclipse, an Evo 8 that now makes stupid amounts of power, a Lancer, and I almost actually own that Lancer twice. So yeah, I think their rally heritage really speaks for itself, as they've had some very good success, especially with the Pajero, but also with the Evo and the Galant platforms. I think they were not able to shine as brightly as they could have because their competitors just had really good stuff to bring to the table. But the point is that they've had a very strong heritage behind the brand. And unfortunately, come the turn of the millennium, that heritage was cracking and falling apart. The finances weren't looking good, and Mitsubishi inevitably ended up becoming a part of the Nissan-Renault alliance. Of course, the rest is history, and we all know that the small decisions made by Nissan inevitably effectively killed off certain cars within Mitsubishi. And it's sad because we lost out on things like the Evo, the Montero, and a few other very significant vehicles. That said, I had some very harsh critiques against Mitsubishi Motors president. I thought that he had made some mistakes. He wasn't going to bring back the Lancer Evo name, but he chose to bring back Rally Art. And at first, I had some very strong opinions and words to say back in 2021. And I inevitably ended up walking some of that back. I realized what he was trying to do, what kind of vision he was trying to encapsulate. And now that I own one of those vehicles that he was using to try and encapsulate that vision, I get it now. Allow me to introduce to you my 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. Out the door, this car looks incredible. I love the styling. I love the way that it feels in your hand when you're driving. The steering wheel is very precise. It has a great driver feel. And everything about this is comfortable. Everything about the way that this car feels in my hands is immaculate. Most of the new cars today, I'm not a fan of, because when you drive them, you feel like you're driving a robot. You don't feel like you're driving a vehicle. Whereas this car, this Outlander, really allows you to connect with the road in a way I didn't expect. I expected this to feel very robot-y. Instead, this feels like my Evo did without all the crazy upgrades. It feels like I'm actually connected straight to the ground. No in-betweens, no nothing. It's just me and the road in front of me and the steering column that connects me to that. And again, it harkens back to the way the Pajero used to drive. Instead of feeling like something plastic in my hands, I feel like I'm holding on to an actual piece of machinery that I can now take and just go anywhere, anytime in. And one thing I will say, for those watching that are fans of the show and know me, y'all know that I probably was never going to buy a newer car, and I've shocked everyone by finally getting a newer car, to the point where even Viking Metal is like, hey, look at that, reliability has entered the chat. And I was like,
why are you gonna do me like this?
But I needed something that would allow me to drive and do what I need to do every day. The ride quality in this thing is butter smooth. There's no hesitation about what it's trying to do. It just wants you to have a good time all the time behind the wheel. And as a passenger, it is an incredibly nice ride. Nice rides in Mitsubishi don't normally go hand in hand, but in this thing, I'm having a good time getting onto the highway, hitting the gas and just going for it. And you don't even realize how fast you're actually going. Like, I just hit 65. I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And just listen to that thing go, dude. The styling in this car is a huge improvement over the previous models. This looks like an SUV that you would feel comfortable getting behind the wheel of and just going anywhere. Since owning it, I've added a trailer hitch because I want to be able to put my mopeds on the back of this thing and travel long distance, because this is a very comfortable driver. I mean, I did 200 miles in this thing one day because I had to, and I was comfy the whole time. AC is nice and crisp. The lighting in here is just good enough where you don't feel like you're being blinded all the time, and the visibility is still good because the blind spot monitoring and all that kind of helps take care of you a bit. In a good way, not in an annoying nanny cam kind of way. I mean in a, okay, I actually needed to know that in that moment kind of way. Having now owned that car for well over 1,000 miles at this point, I see why people are loving this car. It's winning awards. It's getting accolades. People are celebrating this car. People are loving the ride quality. They're loving the functionality. They're loving how it feels to drive. Because instead of it feeling like some plasticky bit that you'd buy off of a lot from Nissan or some other competitor, you still feel connected to the road. You still feel connected to the vehicle. There's still a soul behind the machine. And that's something that Mitsubishi was sorely lacking for a long time. And to quote Ian, he said that it felt like being a passenger in the Evo again, just with a 2.5 liter NA instead of a turbo inline 4 in the form of 4B11. These words are high accolades, to be sure, especially coming from us car enthusiasts, because when has a car enthusiast ever been excited about an SUV? And with some of these off-road functions that are already present in the chassis, all we need now are some guys to get together, put some off-road suspension in it, and take that thing out into the sticks. Maybe not an SEL, but you get my point. The heart and soul of this vehicle screams to be remembered, and to me shows that Mitsubishi is trying to get back to their roots while also keeping all of their technology and prowess at the forefront. They're not trying to go the way of the dodo bird, but they are also not trying to be solely swallowed up by the hype and trends of electrification. Even though they have this huge lineup of vehicles that will be partially hybrid or fully electric coming out in the near future, the fact that this vehicle exists the way that it does tells me that Mitsubishi is trying to do it right by both its fan base and its potential fan base. All of this to say that if Mitsubishi keeps up this new idea, this new styling, this new way of doing Mitsubishi cars, I think Mitsubishi will be able to pull themselves out of debt, get themselves out of the hole, and possibly even help us see a new sports car in the future. They've got 25 different models lined up coming out over the next 5 years or so. Who's to say that one of those is just a stand-in for maybe an actual Eclipse instead of an Eclipse Cross, or a revived / revised version of a Mitsubishi Evolution? After all, we know for a long time that they were considering making an electric Evo. So with that said, what do you guys think? You think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm right? Let us know down below in that comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts. And what do you think of the new ride? This is, after all, my daily, and I will in fact be using this for work, so let me know what you think. Without further ado, God bless you all, and we'll see you on another video. Oh, and if you stayed all the way till now, be prepared, because in the next video, I'm unveiling yet another car for this channel. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Peace!